What is going on, everyone? It is Roaming Dead here. We got a new video for you today. We're doing something a little bit different. I am taking a look at Ghost Recon's Wildlands and Ghost Recon Breakpoint to see the similarities and the differences between the two games. They're very similar, but they're also very different. So let's get into that now. So first off, the biggest thing is the map and the skill trees. The map is very, very different. It's set up a lot different than everything else. And same with the skill tree. So you'll see Ghost Recon Wildlands, the skill tree is very small. There's not that much to it. But the skill tree for Breakpoint is very different. It's huge. It's almost like a RPG style of skill tree. Like it's an actual skill tree. There's lots of different branches that go off, similar to what they did with Assassin's Creed. But at the same time, there's a lot of things that are the same too. The gun types are very similar, but they also took a little bit of Division and they put it into this game. So they have gear sets now, gear score. Before they didn't have that. Obviously, it was just once you unlocked the weapons, you had them all and you had all the attachments for them, you were set. That's all you had to do. Whereas this one, you're constantly getting new upgraded weapons and gear depending on your experience level for one and what gear score you are. So I'm gear score 53 right now in Breakpoint, so I'm getting level 53 and above gear score. They don't really have that. They just had the all the different weapons in Wildlands that you just unlock and you get them. You're set. You don't have to do anything after you find them, and you just have to get the yeah. What was that?
Yeah, similar guns.
They do have similar guns.
I had a
to Fortnite. Okay. Oh, okay. So they're also similar to Fortnite weapons. The biggest difference, obviously, between the two is the graphics. Now, they are also 2 or 3 years apart, so that obviously is higher graphic level for Breakpoint. And the other huge difference between the two is in Breakpoint you're fighting alone, whereas most Ghost Recon games you're fighting with a team. So you usually have 3 to 4 ghosts with you as well as yourself, whereas Breakpoint, you can see I'm by myself. I'm fighting everything by myself. No one can revive me like in Wildlands, like you'll see in a second here. Once I get killed in Breakpoint, I'm done. I got to restart, whereas Wildlands with my team, they can heal me. The only time that's different is when you're playing with like team members, friends. In Breakpoint, obviously, they can heal you at that point, like right here. So I'm down, but they can still heal me until it runs out of time or they all get killed. Whereas in Breakpoint, you don't have anyone unless you're playing with a friend of yours. Now with Wildlands, though, when you're playing with friends, your ghosts go away. So you have 1, 2, whoever you're playing with you instead of having 4 ghosts. So if you're playing with 3 other people, you're great. You still have a team of 4. Playing with 2 people, you have 3. If you're playing with 1 person, you only have 2 of you in your crew. So it is a little more difficult, obviously depending on what missions you're doing and how many people you have. But it's not a huge deal because for the most part with Breakpoint, the story missions are a lot different. Whereas Wildlands, you're trying to infiltrate bases and basically just kill everyone. Where Breakpoint, you have to do a little more sneaking around. You have to unlock certain things, and obviously the enemies. I did it set up like differently. I think in Wildlands, I am not as high of a difficulty level as I am in Breakpoint. I said advanced or extreme in Breakpoint, which is the highest or second highest you can go. And I think Wildlands I just did normal, so the enemies are a little more difficult as well in Breakpoint. But the other huge difference is the ability to climb rocks and mountains and stuff. In Breakpoint, it's very difficult. They made it a little more difficult and more realistic to be able to climb up rocks, steep hills, obstacles as well. Whereas in Wildlands, you can pretty much climb up anything. You just hit climb and you can climb up a mountain like similar to Assassin's Creed. Not quite as parkour as that, but very similar. So that kind of gives you a huge drastic change as well. So now instead of being able to just run up a mountain, you really have to kind of plan your route. Use a helicopter if you have to get up a steep hill, or use a dirt bike or a truck to get up a hill, but you have to watch out for rocks as well. That's a huge difference I found with the two of them. The other little kind of difference is the amount of enemies that will spawn and chase after you. I find in Breakpoint there's a lot more because of what's going on in the story. You're on an island, there's all these military guys there, they're trying to stop you, so they're hunting you more. Whereas in Wildlands, you're just fighting a cartel who has, police backup, but they're not always as advanced. Whereas these guys are similar to ghosts. So they have all of the special abilities that ghosts have. So it's a little bit different. You're fighting kind of your same people, whereas in Wildlands, you're just fighting normal police that have helicopters or whatever. And I do find the bullet drop in Breakpoint is worse. It's more realistic than in Wildlands as well. You really have to kind of aim to where your bullet's going to drop, whereas Wildlands it kind of pretty well shoots fairly straight. When I was playing Wildlands originally, excuse me, you had to, one of the achievements was to shoot over a mile long, I think it was, or something like that. But we did it with, there's 3 of us that did it. 2 of my friends and me, we did it. So the one thing with that though is after 700 and something meters, the enemies despawn. So what we had to do was have 2 people on the ground, one with a hostage, and then one watching, and then one up above shooting. You just had to kind of tell left, over, right, so you can see where the bullet hits. So we ended up doing it, but that's different. The other 2 things that are very different is the I don't even know, the support ring in Wildlands. You have you can get vehicles dropped, you can get mortars, you can get reinforcements, as well as you can send your team to go do certain things. They don't really have that, obviously, because you don't have any support, it's just you. So they didn't really add that in, but they do have a set up a camp like I am right now, similar to what they had in Final Fantasy 13, whatever the latest one was. I don't remember which one it was. So then there you can hydrate yourself. You can build or craft items, grenades, food, rations. You can get a chopper like I am right now, dropped, just similar to what was in the other one, but it's a different setup of cooldown. As well as you can go into the store, you can buy items. As you can see, I'm looking through the guns and everything, and I'm going to be getting a gun and a few other items that you didn't have. You couldn't really buy anything in Wildlands. There was nowhere to buy anything. So that's a little different. They kind of 2 very similar takes, but they just kind of branched off a little bit and added things from different games and different genres to make it I feel like a more worthwhile game. If this was all in Wildlands, I probably would have played Wildlands even more. And not that I didn't play Wildlands a lot. I played a lot. As you can see, most of my story missions are done. There's only a few new ones that I haven't done yet. And I did a couple specialty ones, like one of them when you had to fight Predator, which was pretty intense and it was hard, but we did it. I killed Predator. But you can see that the map is not as big for one either. Wildlands map was fairly small compared to the map. It looks bigger anyways. I don't know for sure. I haven't seen the actual size difference between side by side. But it's more spread out in Breakpoint, I think, than Wildlands, where Wildlands was broken up into sectors, whereas this is still broken up into sectors, but there's further and fewer and far between for being able to go from one side to the other. Now I haven't come across it in Breakpoint yet, but in Wildlands, you're always constantly getting when you're in a helicopter or a plane, getting attacked from the ground. So either mortars, rockets, other helicopters, or enemies that spot you and shoot you down. I haven't noticed that in Breakpoint. I've been up in a helicopter a lot. I've been flying around. I haven't noticed anyone attacking me. Excuse me, yet, but that might be different. I don't know if there's just certain areas that are more heavily guarded than others, and I haven't got to those areas yet. But they both still, you'd be able to jump out of your plane, unlock your parachute, and you can skydive and parachute down, which is really handy, especially when excuse me, you can get helicopter drops. You just drop it whenever, as long as you go to a camp, and then you can dive out of your helicopter and no one can see you and sneak up on an enemy or enemies. Because you don't have the helicopter, you just got to watch, make sure it doesn't fall on you as you're falling down. Excuse me. Still got a little bit of a cold here, but we're getting through it. So, like I said, the skill tree is a lot more advanced. There's a lot more things to do. There's also ultimates in this game that you didn't have in Wildlands. Is more like a Division type of thing, where Division has lots of ultimate. There are different ultimates you can use. Destiny also has that stuff. You can use, and if you're low on health or low on whatever, you can use that to up your health, boost your armor, give you certain items as well. So I haven't touched a lot on that yet in Breakpoint, but I'm getting there, and I'm slowly kind of working my way through it and figuring things out. But yeah, so there's a lot of differences, but there's a lot that's still the same. I'm still working my way through Breakpoint, as I said, so I haven't got quite as far as I did in Wildlands yet, but it's getting there. And I'll probably do a little video later, once I've gotten more, to see if there's anything else that I've noticed that's different or similar to the two games. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. Comment down below which one you like better. If you like Wildlands better or Breakpoint, or you've gotten further in Wildlands or further in Breakpoint, let me know. I would love to hear from you guys about that. If you want to see some more of my Ghost Recon videos, click down below, my latest one. Or if you want to see some of my Assassin's Creed ones that I know you guys love so much, click over here. I would really appreciate it. And, like I always say, peace.
Click the bell.
Click the bell. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.